Time now for Minimax Heat number 2. It is groups C and D. We'll have a look at your starting grid. Pole position will be Albert Friend. Alongside him will be the number 143 of Edward Haynes. Adam Tudasek and Tom Reed complete row number 2 in the 120 and the 136. Ellis Bell in the 146 will be joined by the 167 of Oliver Meek on row 3. Jensen Chalk in the 118 will be joined by new recruits at George Gibbons Motorsport, Oliver Warner in the 123, with Theo Bradshaw in the 141, and Riley Morrow in the 138 completing the top 10. Rounding out the 14-strong grid will be Stanley Clark in the 147, Germany's Mikos Friers in the number 103, Emily Davey from Guernsey in the 172, and Denmark's Christian Sejersen in the 189 rounding out the grid. Now the drivers head onto their formation lap, ahead of 7 minutes plus an additional lap of racing. So after this race, we'll be 1/3 of the way through the 6 heats for Minimax. And then we'll head on to the first part of action for the Junior Rotax competition, which will have their first 2 heats, followed by the first 2 heats of seniors, and taking us into the lunch break at 12:20 will be DD2 and DD2 Masters, as the field now makes its way at a crawl out of the Fullerton S's. Red lights are ignited on the starting gantry, overlooking the start-finish straight with 7 minutes set on the timer. The tension builds, the anticipation starts to heighten as the drivers make their way into the final corner at this 1,382-metre circuit. They split, head into the tram lines, revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights are out. First time of asking. And now Albert Friend leads the field into the Bruno Ferrari S's for the first time, with Adam Tudasek hot on the Brits' heels, up Uncle Tyrone's banking, 3 abreast at the mid-pack as they go through up the hill onto the Litchfield Bridge for the opening time, nearly 3 wide, just outside of the top 6. Albert Friend has managed to extend a little bit of a lead, as just behind a few drivers battling over second position as they make their way through the opening hairpin. So Albert Friend leads. Second, it's Ellis Bell in the 146, followed by Adam Tudasek as they go into the Fullerton S's. Albert Friend has got at least a 4 to 6 length kart lead heading into Bobby Game corner. Now the run into the Matt Wilson complex. Matt Wilson, a multi-time British karting champion in his own right. And Albert Friend, that lead is absolutely astronomical after the opening lap, as we complete the opening tour of this 1,382-metre circuit. Nearly half a second after the opening lap. Albie Friend has done a bit of a Sebastian Vettel like his days back in Red Bull Racing between 2009 and 2013. He's sprinted away like a scalded cat off a hot tin roof. The rest have got to start working together to close on in. There is a battle for what is 4th position. Tom Reed on Edward Haynes as they go into the opening hairpin. Now their line astern. A little bit further back, Stanley Clark has made his way up into 7th position, but has got Theo Bradshaw just in front of him heading into the Fullerton S's. Could be that Tudasek's going to be dive bombed up the inside of Bobby Game corner. 2 for the price of 1 right there. So Albert Friend continues to lead the way. His gap after the opening lap was nearly half a second. And that gap has just further extended to just over 0.53 of a second after 2 laps. Oliver Meek now completes the top 10 as Jensen Chalk started 7th, now 11th position on the road. Riley Morrow 7th, Theo Bradshaw 8th, Stanley Clark now rounds out the top 9. Battle for 3rd place. That's Tom Reed on Edward Haynes into the first hairpin. Looks like Adam Turasek is also going to get through. Again, another 2 for the price of 1 right there at a different part of the circuit. First it was going into the Mike Wilson complex, now it's hairpin number 1. So running order at the moment, Albert Friend leads the way, Ellis Bell in 2nd, 3rd it's now Tom Reed, Adam Turasek, Edward Haynes complete the top 5 as Edward Haynes right on the back bumper. For 4th place at the moment, Oliver Warner in 6th, Riley Morrow, Theo Bradshaw, Stanley Clark, Oliver Meek, Jensen Chalk, Miko Schwiers, Christian Sayerson, and rounding out the field it's Amelie Davey, all side by side. That was between Edward Haynes and Adam Turasek going into the Bruno Ferrari S's, and Turasek manages to hold on in the 120 for 4th place. That's how close it can be. There is enough room to get through at the Bruno Ferrari S's, which is just off the start-finish straight. So Albert Friend, his lead has been absolutely decimated by Ellis Bell. That is no longer 0.4 of a second, that's more like 2/10 as they go through the Fullerton S's. Over halfway through this second Minimax heat of race day here at Paul Fletcher International. 4th and 5th still battling tooth and nail. Turasek and Haynes banging down each other's doors at the moment for 4th place. Friend still continues to lead after lap number 4. And that gap is now 0.246. There's the move. Second time of asking. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And that's exactly what Edward Haynes did and gets through by a whisker on Adam Turasek. But I'm wondering, that hasn't changed. But there is Oliver Warner, the 123 from West Malling in Kent, right behind them. He's been like a silent assassin at the moment, is Oliver Warner. He started 8th. He is now gunning for at least a position in the top 4. 2¼ minutes still remaining, and Albert Friend has led every single lap so far this race. And Ellis Bell, Tom Reed are starting to close on in. We're coming up to 2 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. So at this moment, fastest lap of the race so far now set by Edward Haynes in 4th position. 1 minute, 0.601 seconds by the number 143. Based out of Hexham, 9 years of age. But Albert Friend has kept a hold of that lead very, very firmly, and now he starts looking over his left shoulder and then thinks, oh, crikey, Ellis is catching me. And there's Tom. There's Edward as well. So it's 4 Minimaxes all in a row going through into the Fullerton S's with 1 1/4 minutes plus an additional lap still remaining in this second of 6 Minimax heats. Through into the Mike Wilson complex they go after exiting the 90 right at Bobby Game corner. Just under a minute to go. So this is going to be, more than likely, the penultimate lap of the race. Lap 6 in the books, lap 7 underway. Albert Friend now has nearly 0.4 of a second of an advantage. Ellis Bell, Tom Reed, Edward Haynes still rounding out the top 4. Adam to the 2nd, 5th. Theo Bradshaw has got past Riley Morrow as there's a side-by-side battle for around about 10th place. That will be between Bradshaw and Morrow going over the Litchfield Bridge between the pair. And just behind, Oliver Warner looks to be Ollie Meek. No, but that's Adam Turasek. Funny enough, that's Adam Turasek. So Turasek has now been overtaken. That's for 5th position by Oliver Warner. Very close on the timer. 10 seconds remain as the leader makes his way through into Bobby Game corner. And the last lap board will be out this time. Fastest lap of the race set so far by Edward Haynes on the last tour. 1 minute, 0.515. Last lap board is out. Albert Friend has led every single lap so far. Gap between him And Ellis Bell now just under 3/10 under the bridge through Uncle Tyrone's banking. As that was a bit of a lunge there from Edward Haynes, and he's got through on Tom Reed up the hill. Great work there by the 143. Runs a little bit wide coming out of turn 4. The left-hander that brings them down in towards the opening hairpin at the circuit. Oliver Warner now battling away. He's having to defend very, very sternly from Adam Turasek in the battle for P5. Tom Reed swarming all over the back bumper of Edward Haynes as they go through the second hairpin on the run down to the Fullerton S's for the final time. Oliver Warner squeezing Adam Turasek into the Fullerton S's. It looks like he might have just kept a hold of that position, but into the Mike Wilson complex for the final time on lap number 8 of this race. Checkered flag is being prepared and it waves. Albert Friend takes heat 2 in Minimax. He's led from lights out to checkered and wins by nearly half a second, ahead of Ellis Bell, who started on the inside of row number 3, ahead of Edward Haynes, who started on the outside of the front row and did a fantastic late lunge through Uncle Tyrone's banking as Tom Reed ran a little bit deep under braking. Oliver Warner fending off Adam Turasek right up until the checkered to take P5, with Jensen Chalk 7th, Oliver Meek in 8th, Theo Bradshaw 9th, Riley Morrow. We do have a 5-second time penalty being applied post-race. Oliver Meek demoted to 10th position for having been found to have done it was a pushing incident. He drops from 9th to 10th. Mikko Schweers, Christian Sayerson, Amelie Davey and Stanley Clark ran out the 14-strong grid, all completing every single one of the 8 laps right up until the checkered.